joining today. How are you?
My pleasure, Jordan.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll just get started. Um, the first question is, often students visualize the glamour of their position, but do not recognize there is a price called sacrifice. What did or have you sacrificed in your current role, or to have your current role?
Wow, you're starting good. Um, gosh, I think you're right. Like with that, obviously you see the perks of, or like your vision or your why of, what you pursue. But as far as challenges, I think obviously, especially since this is a online program, just finding that balance is difficult. And I think, I've struggled with it. Other people have as well. So I think just finding that balance is always evolving. You think you've got a handle on things and then you get a curveball. So I think, just kind of finding that balance between, your personal life, your professional life, your student life. Um, and, that balance too of saying no on different things, whether you want to do them or even not, just trying to find that balance in, all things is ongoing. I wish I could say that I've achieved that, but I haven't. And I think that's going to be just kind of par for the course.
Right.
I think that, you get a taste of that as a student, and that doesn't really go away. Many people think, oh, once I finish this class, or oh, once I, finish my program or move on to internship, whatever it might be, that's going to go away. And for me, I haven't found that yet. So,
Good to know.
yeah.
I won't get my hopes up for it to go away. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
And then the next question is, what traditional stereotype angers you?
Hmm. Well, in the classwork that, we do, we're learning a lot about culture and ethics and stereotypes. Um, I'm actually a Girl Scout leader, and we were talking about stereotypes yesterday at our meeting. My juniors were covering that. So it's funny you mentioned that. That is something that was very present for me yesterday when I was talking with them. But I can't help but think about myself. Um, and I think one thing that I've experienced personally is, I received or I earned my doctorate at 30. So oftentimes when people meet me, they think, oh, I thought you'd be older than you are. Um, but I think, we all experience stereotypes. We all have them too. And I think the great thing about the program is just kind of learning about how we see things, because we all have them, whether we realize it or not. And the more we're aware of that, the better practitioners will be. So just wanted to speak a little bit about what I've experienced, but just passing judgment on someone. I think that immediate and not being flexible in learning about someone, I think it's tough, but just important to be mindful of those things.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Next question. As we continue exploring gender and the intersection of race, gender, class, etc., what advice would you offer learners that suggest gender equality is not a significant issue?
What advice I would give to someone who thinks it's not an issue?
Yes, correct.
Okay, well, I guess first I'd want to kind of hear more from them about their why or what makes them feel that way or think that way, to have a better understanding of their perception,
Mm-hmm.
instead of pressing my views on them,
Right.
and my experiences, but learning their why behind that and understanding kind of where they're coming from, and then from there just having conversations um, about the way things are in the world, especially if they, depending on their profession, if they're wanting to be a counselor or someone in the field, um, the importance of being mindful and aware and being open-minded and continuing to do the work as far as learning and growing and being inclusive to all clients that might potentially walk into their office.
Right. Yes, I love that. Yeah, it's kind of like attacking belief, but and just understanding why they think.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. How long have you been with the Chicago School, and what is your style of counseling?
Okay. So I've been teaching in higher ed since 2011, and I think I came on as a adjunct in 2020. Been around for a few years. Taught a variety of classes. It's just been such a fun journey and experience. I love being a part of the learning with students, and I hope that they know that when I'm working with them. And as far as my approach, I have 19 years of experience as a school counselor. So I think my foundation of my work is grounded in that. And
Yeah.
so, the solution focused, kind of goal oriented approaches definitely are something that I've used a lot in my work. And then the psychoeducational piece, so theory that aligns with that. And then, of course, as you go along, and something that I share with students is, when you attend conferences and trainings and so forth, you learn. You might think that you're not aligned with the theorist, but then when you learn about some techniques or approaches that they use, you might be drawn to them or see the impact or benefit of using them with different clients. Um, so yeah, in
It's
a
funny.
nutshell, use a
Yeah,
variety, but
I
I
love
definitely.
that. It's funny that you say that because I feel like each professor that is at the Chicago School, when I learn their approach, I'm like, oh no, like I can't. And then, but I just like get to know them, and then I get to know more about their approach from like their perspective, and I'm like, oh, like that's yeah, like yes, I'm like completely switched on my idea. So I like that you even mentioned that.
And I think it's important, in this process, you're learning about theory and technique and being a counselor just as much as you're learning about yourself, right? So remembering your why, remembering your vision and your goal for counseling, and then pulling techniques and strategies and theory that align with that,
Right.
and making it your own.
Yes, yes, I love that. All right. What is the first thing you notice when you meet someone?
Ooh,
I
I
know, a
think,
little switch here.
yeah, no, I think it's just, I think like most people probably just how you feel around them, like that energy you get, if they, especially like, I work with kids in my foundation of my experience. So I think that's definitely beneficial because they can read things pretty well. And they
Maybe
pick up on that energy quickly. So I think, someone who's genuine, who's interested in you, who takes the time to ask questions and dig a little deeper, just makes you feel good when you're around them. I think those are important things.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, just kind of that trusting that energy, that gut that you feel. Energy says a lot.
It does.
What is one thing that others would be surprised to learn about you?
Um, Good question. Well, kind of focusing or staying in the realm of counseling and, you know, why we're here.
Mhm.
I would say that, growing up, I have a higher ACE score compared to the average. I've put myself through school, um, had to do a lot of things on my own. Um, and so, definitely earned my place to be here, which I'm very proud of for that. Um, but yeah, maybe, just kind of first glance or um, quick to think, oh, she's got her doctorate, so maybe, she's gotten, things handed out to her or whatever. That's not the case at all. Definitely had to earn my place to be here, which again, I'm very proud of, but it's been processed.
All right.
Uh, so maybe I think that might be, surprising to hear.
Ah,
Maybe, I don't know.
no, yeah, I love that. What is the most valuable piece of advice you've ever received, and where did it come from?
I would say again, sticking with educational, you can go different, directions. But I think I've had some great teachers along the way, some great mentors, and I would just try to pass on to others what I've gotten from them, which is to just be open-minded, to, learn about yourself along with, all the content learning, like we've already kind of covered. Read a lot, really immerse yourself, especially when you're learning about theory, like, dive in, take it one thing at a time. There is so much out there, and so you don't want to get too overwhelmed. So just, enjoy the process, and sometimes we're so goal driven or want to achieve things so quickly that the process can be just as rewarding, if not more, than receive or, achieving that goal.
Yeah.
So just, celebrate where you're at
Yeah, I
along
love
with,
that.
thinking about where you're going to.
Mm. Yes, that's great. Yeah, kind of just thinking about the big picture, but us focusing in on that little or almost small step to get to that big picture. So
Mhm.
how, okay, this question I'm interested to know, how do you turn a safe space into a brave space? This is the first time I feel like I've heard the term brave space, so I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
A brave space?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
that's a great question. I'm assuming it would be like a positive psychology approach.
Okay. So, when I think of, safety, obviously you want clients to feel comfortable. Obviously it can be a very vulnerable position, opening yourself up to someone else, letting them in, even seeking help. It can be a hard thing, right? But then making that transition of, okay, I recognize that I'd like to make change or I need to make change in my life, and then making that transition to being brave enough to try, uh, being brave enough to be challenged on different things. So that's where that relationship piece is so important. Um, and so I think, what was the first part of the question?
You kind of, how do you turn a safe space like into a brave?
Right. So it starts with the relationship.
Yeah, I love therapeutic relationships. I swear by it.
Yep.
Everything will fall into place as long as you have that.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so this is a question that was not on the Word doc. I just throw it in there.
Okay.
What are your top three favorite animals in order of like it could be your first, second, and third, or your third, first, third, second, first. But why are they your favorite?
Ooh, okay. Well, first top one I would say is my dog. So dogs. um, this is my dog I have. He's a mini golden doodle. His name's Chesapeake, but we call him Chessy,
Oh,
and he'll be 2 this summer. But he's my first dog. Like my sister had a
oh,
dog. Like he's my first dog, and it's funny because we got him, and I have 2 elementary age kids and my husband. But he's my dog. And I jokingly was, during residency last time, I was talking with another faculty member. They said, funny that dogs attach to the person that needs them the most. And I said, yeah, like, who's your dog attached to? And they're like, me. And I said, me too. And I think that's true. Like, he is, such a comfort to me. And, um, definitely believe, we practice what we preach about talking about animals and how they provide comfort and so forth, and
yes.
stress relief. And he certainly does that for me. So I am totally a dog person now. I
Love
used to
that.
be that person. So that's not my number one. I don't know, like as far as order, but animal that came quickly to mind was owls. Like their wisdom.
Ooh.
Um, I just, the I just think they're really cool. Um,
The
and
fact that they can turn their heads completely around is mind blowing to me still.
yeah,
I'm 30 and that's mind blowing.
I know they're really cool. So obviously they're associated with wisdom. But then also I guess to add another, like my family and I, we just went to Universal a few months ago. My oldest, she's read all the Harry Potter books and totally into that. So, obviously think about Hedwig.
Yes.
Yeah, owls are cool. And then a third animal, gosh, I'll say dolphins, just
Okay.
because they're really smart, they're fun, they're playful. Again, when we were down in Florida, we got to go swim with dolphins. It was really cool.
That's so exciting.
They're just happy, fun animals. You can't help but love them.
And they're pretty protective too, right?
Yeah, and they are, yeah, and they're just they're just so neat to be around,
Yeah.
and be in awe of. I'll say dolphins.
Oh, thank you. I know sometimes it's like, what's your favorite animal? Hard question to even answer. Top three, but thanks for sharing.
And it might be different tomorrow. I mean, who knows? But
Right? Every day is different. That's the beauty of life.
right.
All right, last question.
Okay.
Why teaching? What attracts you to the courses that you do teach at the Chicago school?
Okay. Well, first the why. Again, and I think this kind of ties in with some of the things that we already talked about. Just having great mentors along the way, just wanting to help others, but being in a different realm of that. Obviously in this profession, we're in the field of lifelong learning. So, even though I'm teaching, I'm learning along the way in the process too. And just, having that balance between gatekeeping the profession, but then also empowering students and pursuing their goals. It's a great place to be, and I really enjoy that. And then as far as like the courses I teach a variety. Um, some of my favorites recently have been practicum. I'm sorry, residency. Sorry,
Residency.
those are practicums. I was thinking about them, but
I
yeah,
had a feeling that's what you meant.
yeah. So I love residency, just having that face-to-face interaction with students, just kind of going through that process with them and being in person. And it's such an intensive weekend, go through so many emotions through the process, but just being in that experience together, you walk away a different person in many ways. And each time I've done residency, I've felt that way with the vibe from the group. So it's been a lot of fun. And then I also do the research and assessment classes, and I enjoy those. When I did my dissertation, I did my own stats. Not a big math person, but I was able to tackle that. And I think there's so much value in research, and just being able to understand it, kind of getting over the discomfort or the anxiety that might go along with not really enjoying it. Getting out on the other, having a greater appreciation and understanding of it. So I definitely enjoy those classes as well. But I also like, theory. I mean, I teach a variety, and I guess there's a reason for that. Because I like all that, they all bring their own things to it. But definitely have goals of doing practicum in the future, or even some of the doc classes. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what the future holds for me in that realm as well, as what I've been able to be a part of so far.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, I know personally I've had you for a few classes, so definitely a variety, but I think that's good. Never get too comfortable in one spot.
Uh,
Awesome. That's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for answering all my questions, Dr. Isom. It was so nice to chat with you.
You too. Thanks, Jordyn.